So next we'll go for module 5, that is damped free vibrations. These are the contents of this chapter. First we will be learning about the concept of damped vibration in the introduction part, types of damping, then a derivation analysis with viscous damping, then derivation for over critical under damper systems, logarithmic decrement, and then problems. Okay, so these are the contents of this chapter. First we will learn the basics of damped free vibrations, that we will be learning in our introduction part. So in module 4 we have discussed about what is a damper and what is a damper system and what is a undampered system. So mainly here we will be learning about the damping. Okay, so as I have told, every motion dissipates energy in one form or another. Damping is associated with energy dissipation. So as I told, one more thing is damping is the resistance offered by a body to the motion of a vibrating system. So damping creates a resistance for the system. So when there is a damping, the vibrations will be reduced, the vibration cycle will be reduced. Though, and this resistance may be applied internally or it may be applied externally, and the medium may be a solid medium or it may be a liquid medium, or they may be using both in some of the cases. So because of this resistance, the vibrations will be dying over the cycles, and since because of these vibrations, and as I told, there will be a system will be disturbing, and due to this dampers, the vibrations will be died over there. So now we'll go for the next concept, that is different types of damping. So these are the different types of damping, and these are the common types of damping. First one is viscous damping, second one is Coulomb damping, third one is solid or structural damping, and the fourth one is slip or interfacial damping. So these are the different types of dampings. So first we will see what is a viscous damping. So it is the most common type of damping. So as the name itself indicates, viscous. When a system is allowed to vibrate in a liquid or viscous medium, then the damping is called as viscous damping. So when the damping occurs in a viscous medium, then it is called as viscous damping. And the resisting force experiences in viscous damping is proportional to the velocity. So the two important types of viscous dampers commonly used are the fluid dashpot and a eddy current damping. So these are the two common types of dampers which are used. One is a fluid dashpot and the other one is eddy current damping. So what is a fluid dashpot? And this is a simple and this is a common type of damping which is used. See, it consists of a piston moving to and fro in a cylinder with fill of viscous fluid as shown in figure. Here the damping is experienced due to three conditions. One is the drag of fluid, second one is the pressure of fluid that flows through the clearance space, and next one is the pressure differences of the two sides of the piston. So you can see here the figure, it shows a piston and a cylinder assembly, and in between that there is a viscous fluid, and because of this viscous fluid it acts as a damper, and a damping is provided, and it resistance and it offers resistance to the vibrating body. So this acts as a damper. Eddy current damping. So here basically the damping is based on the principle of generation of eddy current, which provides the damping. So here in this figure we consider a non-ferrous conducting rectangular plate being moved in the direction perpendicular to the lines of the magnetic flux as shown in the figure. You can see the figure there, direction of magnetic flux, direction of motion of the plate, and a plate, and there are two permanent magnets. Okay, so when the plate moves, current is induced in the plate and is proportional to the velocity of the plate. So this current is in the form of eddy current, and this sets up a magnetic field so as to oppose the original magnetic field. Thus there is a resistance to the motion of the plate in the magnetic field. So next is dry friction or Coulomb damping. So Coulomb or dry friction damping, it results when sliding contact exists between any two dry surface. When there is a sliding contact between any two dry surface, then this Coulomb or dry friction damping will be resulting. So the damping force is equal to the product of the normal force and the coefficient of dry friction. So the damping force is equal to the product of the normal force and the coefficient of the dry friction. So the damping force is independent of the velocity of the motion, and the frictional force is always opposite to the direction of the motion. So next we will see about solid or structural damping. So what is a solid or structural damping? So this type of damping is due to internal friction of the molecules. Due to vibratory motion, materials are cyclically stressed and energy is dissipated due to the intermolecular friction. So for most of the structural materials like steel, aluminum, the energy dissipated is found to be a function of the amplitude only over a wide frequency range. So now we can see that experiments show that for elastic materials, for loading and unloading conditions, a loop is formed on a stress strain curve. So next type is slip or interfacial damping. What do you mean by slip or interfacial damping? See, machine elements are connected by means of various types of joints. Energy of vibration is dissipated by microscopic slip on the interfaces of machine parts in contact under fluctuating loads. So basically this slip or interfacial damping, it occurs between the uh, machine elements which are connected by means of joints. So slip occurs on the interfaces of machine elements forming various types of joints. The energy dissipated per cycle depends upon the coefficient of friction, the pressure between the contacting parts, and the amplitude. So these are some of the conditions. Okay. So the amount of damping depends upon the energy dissipated per cycle. So as it is told, the energy dissipated per cycle. So the damping depends upon the energy dissipated per cycle. At zero pressure, there is no energy loss since no energy is dissipated in friction, but there is a large slip. A large slip will be occurring, and due to this slip, the vibration will be occurring. At very high pressure also, no energy loss since there is no slip. Therefore, there is an optimum value of pressure for which the energy dissipated is maximum. So here in this uh, part we have learned about the introduction to damper free vibration and what are the different types of damper systems.